You didn't choose them from a breeder. Maybe they were in a shelter for months. Maybe they came from somewhere you'll never fully know. Maybe someone gave them up. Maybe no one ever came back for them. And the day you brought them home, something shifted for both of you. Most people who adopt a rescue dog say the same thing. This dog is different, more grateful, more attached, more aware of where you are at every moment. Most people assume this is because of trauma, because of fear, because of damage that never fully healed. Science says something more complicated and more extraordinary. There are 3 things researchers have found about the bond between a rescued dog and its owner that most people never hear. And the third one changes everything you thought you knew about what rescue means for both of you. The obvious assumption: rescued dogs are broken, they need more, they give less. And yes, some rescued dogs carry behavioral challenges that require patience, consistency, and time. But here's what the research actually found. In a 2020 study from Oregon State University measuring attachment behaviors in dogs from different backgrounds, rescued dogs, shelter dogs, and dogs raised from puppyhood, something unexpected emerged. Rescued dogs did not show weaker attachment to their new owners. In several measures, they showed stronger attachment behaviors than dogs raised from birth in stable homes. More proximity seeking, more eye contact, more checking in. Not because they were anxious, not because they were damaged, because something in their history had recalibrated what a safe human meant to them. And when they found one, they oriented toward them with everything they had. The first finding: the epigenetic window. Trauma leaves biological marks. We know this. In dogs who experienced early neglect, instability, or abuse, researchers found measurable changes in cortisol regulation, stress response thresholds, and oxytocin receptor expression. The biology of stress had been altered. But here's what most people don't know. Those same biological systems, the ones altered by negative experience, are also the most responsive to positive experience. A 2019 study measuring oxytocin levels in recently adopted rescue dogs found that consistent, warm, predictable care from a new owner produced measurable changes in stress hormone regulation within the first 8 to 12 weeks. 8 to 12 weeks. The biology was already beginning to shift. Researchers call this the sensitive period for attachment recalibration. The window isn't open forever, but in those first months, what you do, how consistent you are, how safe you make them feel, is being written into their biology in ways that will shape the bond for years. The first 3 months matter more than most owners realize, not because you have to be perfect, because consistency, showing up the same way every day, is literally recalibrating their stress response towards safety. Think about what your rescue dog was like in the first few weeks versus a few months in. What changed? Write it in the comments. These stories are always remarkable. The second finding: the way rescued dogs read faces. Researchers studying eye tracking patterns in dogs from different backgrounds found something striking. Dogs with a history of instability or trauma showed longer and more frequent scanning of their owner's face, compared to dogs raised in stable environments from puppyhood. They looked more, longer, with more intensity. The initial interpretation was hypervigilance, anxiety, a nervous system on alert. But when researchers measured what accompanied this scanning, the physiological responses, the cortisol levels, the behavioral outcomes, the picture became more complex. In dogs with secure attachment to their new owners, this increased face scanning was not associated with stress. It was associated with attachment behavior. These dogs had learned, possibly the hard way, that reading a human face accurately was important, that the information in a face mattered, that knowing whether a human was safe or unsafe was worth paying very close attention to. And when they found a face that was consistently safe, they studied it, not out of fear, out of something that looks neurologically much more like devotion. Your rescue dog may watch your face more than you realize, not because they're anxious, because you became the most important thing in their world, and they learned not to take that for granted. Now the third finding, and this is the one that changes the entire conversation. Researchers studying long-term bond formation in rescued dogs versus dogs raised from puppyhood tracked one specific measure over time: the strength of the secure base effect, the degree to which a dog uses their owner as an anchor for exploring the world. And what they found, at the 12-month mark and beyond, was this: the bond strength between rescued dogs and their owners was statistically indistinguishable from dogs raised from birth in loving homes. Indistinguishable: the history of instability, the unknown past, the months or years before you, the experiences you'll never fully know. None of it prevented the bond from forming at full depth. Think about what this means. Your rescue dog, with everything they came from, built the same neurological bond with you that a dog raised from 8 weeks in a loving home builds with their owner. Not a lesser bond, not a damaged bond, the same bond. The attachment system is that resilient. This isn't a feel-good statement. This is a measurable biological finding. The cortisol regulation, the oxytocin response, the secure base behavior, the face scanning that shifted from vigilance to devotion, all of it converging on the same outcome. Researchers who study this describe it as one of the most striking demonstrations of neuroplasticity in the animal world, the capacity of a social brain to reorganize around a new attachment figure, even after significant disruption. Your dog's brain rebuilt itself around you, and they chose to use it on you. This makes evolutionary sense. For 15,000 years, dogs didn't always stay with the same human from birth. Packs changed, humans moved, dogs were traded, gifted, abandoned, found. The attachment system wasn't built only for stability. It was built to bond, and to bond again when necessary. The capacity to form a new, deep, complete attachment after loss or instability, that's not a bug. That's one of the most fundamental features of the dog-human bond. Think about the evolutionary pressure that created this. A dog that could only bond once, that couldn't rebuild after disruption, would have been at a severe disadvantage in a world where human-dog relationships were far less stable than they are today. The dogs that survived and thrived were the ones who could find a new safe human and bond completely. That capacity was selected for, generation after generation. Your rescue dog didn't come to you broken. They came to you with an attachment system that had been waiting for the right person to activate it. And they found you. There's something important here that rescue owners sometimes miss. If your rescued dog shows any of the following in the first weeks and months, pay attention, but don't misread it. Hypervigilance near doorways, flinching at sudden sounds, difficulty settling in new spaces, following you from room to room with unusual intensity. These are not signs that the bond isn't forming. These are signs that the attachment system is active and looking for evidence that this time it's safe. Your consistency is the evidence. Your predictability is the answer. Every time you come back when you said you would, every time you respond the same way, every time you're there, you are building the biological case for safety in a nervous system that learned at some point that safety wasn't guaranteed. That takes time. It's not linear. Some days will feel like steps backward, but the research is clear. The bond forms. It forms at full depth. And once it does, it's the same bond, the same biology, the same love. What was the moment you knew your rescue dog had fully bonded with you? Write it in the comments. These are some of the most powerful stories I've ever read. So the next time your rescue dog follows you into a room, or watches your face a little longer than other dogs do, or presses against you with a kind of specific intention, remember what's actually happening. An attachment system that survived instability is orienting toward you. A nervous system that learned to be careful is choosing to trust. A bond that science says forms at full depth, regardless of history, is completing itself. They didn't come to you already whole. They came to you ready to become whole, with you. And they did. On this channel, every week we go deeper into the science of the bond between you and your dog, because they chose to spend their one life with you. They deserve to be understood.